Hey, how's it going, everybody? Appreciate you for tuning in to another edition of the Passion and Precision podcast. Hopefully, you're having a good day. It's end of the week, Friday night. Y'all, we're getting ready for the weekend. If you don't got to work, just chilling. We're here to get you kind of caught up on some things that happened this week. And you already know, be ready for it. Got rants ready to go. You've seen the title. We're going to talk some NFL under pressure. So that's going to be a fun discussion. And we're hoping that you all join it as well. All right, got all that out of the way. Before we get into our first topic, Jory Sports Stories, which if you're not following her and checking out, go over there after the show and look at some of her content. But Jory, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing all right. It has been a long week. I am upset with quite a few people in the sports world.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a
So,
few.
Key.
So I'm ready to get something off my chest. It's Friday, so you know you got to let a long week work off of work just melt
Mm-hmm.
off your chest. And I got to let a long week of people pissing me off in sports just I got to get it off the tongue. So,
I mean, absolutely, absolutely. Uh, so yeah, let's go ahead, start with the first topic. And like I said,
what's up,
warning,
Key?
first rant right out the gate.
Oh yeah, right
Uh,
out the gate.
yeah, because you and I were both uh, noticing. I guess this is gonna be the setup for the little tease for you all tuning in. Father of an NFL wide receiver made some comments that made Jory and I kind of wonder where his head is at. And I mean, this is like final burn worthy, but we're going to start our show off with it to kind of set the tone for the night. So, if you don't know, Amon Ra St. Brown, his dad was on a podcast, and he started talking about, I don't know, genetics and all kind of stuff. I'm going to pull up the clip. Like I said, it might be a little triggering for some, but educational purposes. Let me do this. Here we go. All right. So, I guess to paraphrase it, he basically said when trying to raise athletes, you have to be careful about the partner you pick. And as he put it, he has black gold running through him because obviously you have Amon Ra, you have whatever his name is. You know who it is. I can never
Equanimous.
pronounce that name, so I just whatever. Equinemius
Equanimous.
St. Brown or something like that. You already know. It's a football family. So he's saying that because of his black gold and the partner that he picked is why they turned out that way, and you have to really think about that. Like I said, paraphrasing because reading it all is it's too stupid for me. But Jory, I'm gonna let you have this one. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Mm. So are black women good for anything else other than raising athletes? That's my question. Are you good for anything else other than raising a damn athlete?
I mean, it's a good question because
And
even
then
what's
you
shown on
go into
there.
the rest of the quote about the damn toes.
But I'm just saying, even this part about if you don't want to have athletes, spread your seed wherever. Like that is wild
Genetics,
to
that
say.
is wild.
But then the other
You're
part, there we go. Talks about their mama having a big chin, big toes,
no
and
big head ass up. Like, what the fuck is wrong with him? Like, I cannot believe you said that. Talking about some big toes. Nigga, do you know how hard it is to find a 10 in shoes? Excuse my language. But, like, are you serious? Find a cute 10. And I'm only 5'3". So just because a woman got big feet don't mean she gonna be tall. Dumbass.
so my thing was like, was he trying to talk about? I guess the balance from Amon Ra is because of her big toes. Now the big chin part, because they could take a hit. Like I don't. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. And
Big chin. What the hell does that have to do with with football, basketball, or none of that shit? Like that is some bullshit. First of all, you over here talking about black women and like paraphrasing it, like how I read it. It's like, oh, black women ain't good. You raise athletes with black women? What does his wife look like? I hate to bring that up, but
there's your family portrait.
so you knock up a black woman, but you marry a white one. You rat ass coon. Like you are he is a fucking fool. And all you're doing is sitting in there and on that damn podcast, on that stupid ass microphone, objectifying women, black women, which you came from with your dumb head ass. Talking about just spread your seed, whatever. You got to be picky and choosy. As a human being, you should be picky and choosy about who the fuck you sleep with in the first fucking place.
My question also, because it says it's from August 2024, where he went on his son's podcast with this. One, I'm hoping he hasn't been back on there to talk anything like this. And two, when you see people put the comment about podcast equipment is too cheap, it applies to this. Because if you didn't put a microphone in front of him, we would never have known that this was his way of thinking in terms of picking his partner.
He don't think. He got marbles for fucking brains.
Which I guess to him, he's got sons that make a lot of money. He ain't got to think. He can say whatever he wants and just
look like a damn ass at doing it. So you knock up black women and go marry white ones?
Okay, so Keith says if you watch Receiver on Netflix, they do show the mom. Which I'm sure she probably heard these comments. It was just like, this idiot.
Negro.
But saying this in front of your sons too, like they had to be
that is wild. And I'm like, I promise you, if I have that podcast and my dad come on my podcast and say some crazy crap like that and embarrass me, he not coming back.
I'd cut that the microphone halfway through. Cut the microphone halfway through.
Because you sound stupid. You sound ignorant.
Yes.
All women are worthy of carrying an athlete, not just black ones, you dumb fuck. Like, what are we talking about?
Their mom is German. Okay. That's okay. But it's also like
black gold running through my veins. You full of shit. Shut the fuck up. That's what's running through your veins.
He was definitely selling himself really high with that comment. Yeah. My thing is like, as a dad, you could have been like aspiring to raise doctors or something, but he clearly just focused in on being a parent of an athlete, which, hey, if that's what he was aspiring to do, then cool,
Black gold running through my veins. Shut the fuck up. Almost anybody can produce an athlete. Shut the hell up.
Key brings up, Lonzo's mom is white and Lamar never went down this road, I mean, Lamar said some wild stuff, but he never said anything close to this. But there you go. Fool of the week right there.
Worry about that instead of worried about what. Let's go.
Okay. So, like I said, just to set the tone. That's right, LeVar. I read Lamar too.
Same damn difference. I'm gonna get on Lamar ass too.
All right, so that was to set the. I told y'all, you were in for a good one today. So now we can move off of Amon-Ra's dad, and then let's talk WNBA, which is in the All-Star weekend, and I'd like the first conversation to have around that. The whole discourse about nobody's going to watch because Caitlin Clark's not going to be in it. So if you don't know, Caitlin Clark obviously was a captain. She picked her team and everything. She was going to be in the three-point contest, which, everybody's going to lose their minds finally seeing her in her 29% in a three-point contest. She got hurt against Connecticut. So she's out, won't play in the game either. She'll probably miss some time in the second half of the season. At least she should. To uh, Sabrina won the 3-point. I thought Alicia Gray won both of them last season. Didn't
This
she?
year. This year. They
Oh.
doing it now.
Oh yeah. Okay. I had that confused. But they were basically building this weekend up as Caitlin Clark in the 3-point contest. Come watch her. Now she's out. Everybody's talking about how nobody's going to watch anymore because she isn't playing. And my perspective on that is, if you're one of these people who only know Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, you're the ones who should be glued to your TV so you can learn about some of the other really good players in the league. So then when, people have conversations, you don't look like an idiot just talking about, oh, Caitlin Clark's this, Caitlin Clark's that. Stop that. So, and also the Caitlin Clark part of it is with the refs, which we were going to talk about. I think like her brother or something said because of the way the refs officiate her is why she re-injured her groin, which we know Caitlin Clark gets all this physicality that nobody else gets.
So are they supposed to just tap her like a feather? Are they supposed to treat her like a feather? What the hell is he getting at? Exactly, Key. Nobody's talking about the Fever play better without her, but that's neither here or there. We'll go back to that discussion at the end of the season.
That's a conversation. Yeah, exactly. At the end of the season, I guess we'll have a bigger sample size on that. But I guess what are your thoughts about the people who think because Caitlin Clark won't be in the All-Star game that nobody's gonna watch?
They're
What's up,
dumb as
Gene?
shit.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I feel like
like their only focus is on Caitlin Clark. There's a whole bunch of other plethora of talent that you could be watching. Actually, like you said, take this as an opportunity to learn some more.
Yeah.
There is more to the WNBA than Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Now, is Angel Reese one of the faces of the NBA along with A'ja Wilson? Yes. And some people ain't gonna like that, but yeah, she is one of the faces.
I mean, she's on the cover of video games, so exactly. A lot of people will be introduced to her through the video game art.
And I'm like, this is the perfect time to learn more about like a Ryan Howard, Alicia Gray. More people that don't get as much coverage because those two are so polarizing.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just sitting on their damn Twitter thick keyboards tweeting dumb shit. That same energy that you could be using to spew stupidity on social media, you could be using to invest and learn and actually put in the effort to learn about the game.
Yeah. I also saw this because I just remembered I saw this today, and this person put no longer arguing with somebody who can't name 10 people in this picture.
Exactly.
Which is obviously going, and it's not only just Caitlin Clark fans, because you and I have talked about it as well. Angel Reese has a selection of fans too that are the same as Caitlin Clark fans, where they only focus on her, and yeah, it's nauseating between the two of them. But yeah, looking at this picture, it's not hard to find 10 in here that you should know. Like, I don't know if you can see it that well to kind of decipher all of them, but
yeah, I know enough.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there are some deep cuts in there. Like, you may not know what Kayla Thornton looks like, but she is in this picture.
I see Paige at the front.
Mm-hmm. Key says she can name almost all of them. Yeah.
See? Why just put in the effort to at least learn some ball?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of just spewing bullshit on the internet. The internet is supposed to be a peaceful place for knowledge, not a hellscape of misinformation and bullshit hot takes.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And that's how I feel about that.
That was like, for those fans out there who are like, I'm not going to watch, a lot of these women in this picture, you will see on display, and you might learn a name or two.
And if you're going to be that ignorant and not even try to watch, go ahead and turn your TV off and don't turn it back on.
Right. Because also, if you don't watch, I don't want to see like the day after talking about, see, nobody watched that trash because whatever. If you didn't watch, then just don't talk about it, period. Just leave it alone. Leave the conversation to those who did and whatever. Okay, let's keep this going. Yep, Tasha Cloud, front and center right there. Yeah, my little pointer does pop up. So, like you said, you got Paige Beckers. Now, Sonia Cintron, I guess, if you didn't know her, sure. She's a rookie. That might be a tough one. Like people like Kelsey Plum, you should know. Alicia Gray, we just talked about. Get to know her because she's balling in Atlanta. She's going to be an MVP candidate. She probably won't win it because of her right here, Nafisa Collier. Asia Wilson, we talk about all the time. I mean, they obviously know Angel Reese because, like we said, they all know who she is. Was it Satu Sabali? I think she's not playing either. I believe she was replaced by. Who's she replaced by? Because Brittany Sykes replaced Caitlin Clark. Brianna Jones replaced her, and that's Brianna Jones right there. Walk-in bucket MVP, yeah. So that's just to name a few. Skylar Diggins as well, back there.
Fixating and hype and obsessing over Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese all the goddamn time.
Yes.
These and ladies what is right with here. These people saying that Nafisa Collier doesn't have aura? Not everybody has this outgoing, funny personality. Have you thought about it that like that?
Yeah, I mean, once again, I guess because to most fans, I guess all the aura is Clark and Reese. They probably think there's a lot of WNBA players who don't have aura.
Did we not pay attention to what Courtney Williams and what's his face was doing all weekend?
You couldn't tell them to stop partying.
No. Courtney had a good ass time.
She was loving life right there. Okay, let's keep going. All right, so I guess surrounding WNBA as well, we do have Alyssa Thomas, who held a press conference, had some statements about the fan interaction with the players and all that. Because like I was watching Fever Sun before the break. I know Sanaya Rivers had a situation with a fan that had to be removed from the game and everything like that. But hold on. Gene says, real quick, serious question. I agree with your points. I agree with your sentiments, and Lord knows I've been talking about the league and know people, but I guess but Caitlin Clark. I mean, look, Jory and I will sit here and obviously agree that Caitlin Clark's popularity and Angel Reese's as well have attributed to the league being where they are right now. Here's the but part. Would you rather the league go back to when the league was bleeding money and wasn't selling out without the Angel and Caitlin Clark? No. And Gene, that's a great point.
No, I don't mind. I like them here. I just wish they'd educate themselves and stop being ignorant and spreading their hatred everywhere on both sides.
Right. That's our only point to it, Gene. Like we understand because every sport's gone through this where kind of casual fans come into the game following one player. Because Juju Watkins will probably bring in her own fans as well. But like Jory just said, our thing is, okay, you're watching the WNBA now. Now broaden your horizon so that when conversations come up, you don't automatically just funnel it to Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Because I've seen plenty of conversations where they're talking about like Collier as an MVP candidate, and like the first three comments are, "Oh, she's not that good. She's not Caitlin Clark," and it's just like, what are we doing here? So yes, before when the league was struggling and people were wondering if it was viable, then obviously don't want it to go back to that. Casual fans need to be welcomed with less venom, even if their ignorance shows. I'm old enough to remember when people knew nothing but yes, and I remember that too.
But the only reason why they get venom from me is because some of those casual fans on both sides, the one thing they love to do is spit vitriol towards everybody else. Yeah. So Yeah, I'm gonna be mean. I'm not gonna be the nice person, especially if it's to somebody I know who's gonna be hateful when you say something you disagree with. The one thing about the casual fans, that the new fans that do piss me off, is because you can't say anything critical about certain people, Caitlyn or
Mhm.
Angel. You can't say anything critical. So
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, he's agreeing with you. Yeah, and I guess that's where it can be not necessarily awkward, but trying to bridge the gap with a casual fan without making the casual fan, I guess, feel stupid or something like that, or not like just blatantly pointing out their ignorance or something. I don't know. It is weird when you're dealing with a sport that is still this young because it hasn't been around forever, and now they're really reaching a boom in popularity that I don't know, maybe the commissioner and stuff weren't necessarily ready for. But like I said, like a few minutes ago, they're gonna go through this again with Juju Watkins. And
mhm.
Gene, I know you love you some Juju Watkins, but she's as popular in the college game as you could say Reese and Clark were. So she's gonna bring in more fans, and then the conversation's gonna spin another way. And I do think people who are fans of the league and everything are gonna have to be ready for that too.
And it's like usually when I'm engaging with casuals, I can tell when somebody is just you can tell when somebody is
They're going
willing
to
to
want to
learn
learn more about it.
and somebody who just wants to be hateful and spew BS because they're a stan. Stan culture has ruined so many aspects of pop culture in general. This whole stan thing, like because you got the
Hmm.
Reese's Pieces, Angel Reese's stands. That's what they're called.
Yeah.
Caitlyn stands.
Hmm.
Even in music and anime and all this other stuff, there's stands, and then those are fans. Then there's fans. Stands,
Stands can turn off fans,
yes,
which that's also something the league does not want either.
because
So that's why
once
I'm
you're
like,
standing
it's
somebody,
tricky
then
to
that
kind
means
of
you're gonna
that line.
unnecessarily like stands. They unnecessarily attack other people because they want to benefit one person. That's the
Hmm.
type of shit I'm trying to get out of this damn. That's the type of stuff I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking
Hmm.
about.
Speaking of stands, can't wait for the Eminem movie. I'm a stand. Yeah. Um, remember, it was Caitlyn Angel, now Paige, next Juju. Yeah. It's gonna keep growing through stars. Wish Fee got her roses though. She's so good. Yeah.
And want like if I want to kind of correlate the type of stand argument, think about what's happening with Kendrick and Drake, Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Some people act like you can't listen to both,
That is true.
and
Yeah.
you can't like both of them's music.
Yeah, that is where it's gotten to. Like the beef drew a line in the sand, and you now have to stand on one side.
And I hate that, but
Yeah,
that's my analogy. That's literally what's going on here. And I just want
tribalism.
the
Gene put
stands to
tribalism.
be.
That's a good word for it.
I just want the stands to kind of be less stanny and less psychotic and unhinged because they kind of do ruin it for the rest of the fans.
Hmm. Yeah,
Like this unhinged behavior, cyber behavior in 2025 is ridiculous.
absolutely.
And that's my two piece.
Yeah. So our overarching point is watch the All Star game, watch the skills competition, watch the 3-point contest, and just learn something about a new player. That's it. That's all we're asking for. But yeah, so moving to Alyssa Thomas.
In her
Uh, she
comments.
she made some comments about fan interaction that we definitely wanted to talk about. So let me pull that one up. Hopefully you can see that. Basically, she said, at the end of the day, we're here doing our jobs. They don't have people coming to their jobs saying these nasty things. So once again, like I
Bitch,
said, I'm about to say, we've seen instances where players have had fans kicked out of games for stuff that they said. And as Alyssa Thomas put it, they're just there to do their job. They don't want to have these people come in there harassing them while they're on the court, which I think we could both agree with. Now, they don't have people going to their jobs and saying nasty things. I think that's the part where she's probably going to lose some people, because there are people who work a 9 to 5 who deal with a lot of nonsense.
You're looking at one of them.
Exactly.
I deal with a lot of BS, and you know it.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, these people don't have people coming up to their jobs. Lady, I have been solicited for sex. I have had plastic bags thrown in my face. I have been cussed out, called all types of bitches and hoes and middle fingers and all this other stuff. And you mean to sit here and tell me that I don't go through none of that crap? The fuck is you talking
anybody
about?
who works customer service will read that and go, do my job for a day.
Do my job for a day, and you'll have 10 men hitting on you, 2 people not understanding the word no, 3 people who don't know how to read and catch attitudes.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you're gonna like. What? That's a part of being a celebrity that I would hate, but at the same time, I deal with that on a less level every single damn day.
Yeah, that's
I literally got off of work at 4:00, and I had a couple of people just harassing me today.
Mm-hmm. That's not like her point. We get is just that second sentence. She could have kept that one to herself.
Keep that one in the drafts, because that's tone deaf and it's not true.
Yes.
You've never. I'm like, have you worked customer service? Have you worked with people?
Right. I mean, a comment like that would make you think she hasn't. Because I don't know anybody who's ever done customer service that hasn't had somebody come up to them and call them outside their name or insinuate something about them. Like, that's just with the territory.
People
like I said, that is part of being a celebrity.
Up in my job saying some BS. Girl, please.
Yeah. I mean, look.
If that's how you feel about fans occasionally heckling you, try dealing with that every day, but having to do it for 9 to 5 for $9.50 a damn hour and some damn tips. Can we look at can we have a little bit of can we really look at where we're at here?
Kelsey Plum interaction with the fan waiting for her to sign was just the perfect example. Yeah, I saw that one. I don't know if you saw that one, Jory, but
I did not see that.
There was a fan as she was walking, I think, into the arena. I mean, Gene can fact check me on this. I think she was walking into the arena, and there's a fan, or she was like just walking down the street or something like that, and the fan was just like, "Oh, Kelsey, can I get you to sign something?" And she like looked at him. It was just like, "What? Why? Like, why are you so obsessed with my signature?" And I know what Gene's getting at by putting that in the chat. It's like, interactions like that are not a good look. I mean, yes, you're just signing something. Like, that's a fan. You don't want to make the fan think like you're a jerk. Yes, waiting my bus. That's what it was. And yeah, that works into it too, because the league is going through CBA talks and all this kind of stuff where they're trying to negotiate for more money. If you start pushing fans away and stuff, then the money's not coming in, so it's kind of like counterproductive. Yeah, and look, like you said, Gene, and you said, Jory, these athletes now in the WNBA, because of the influx of these college players that are bigger celebrities and all that, they're not going to get a different level, and they have to be ready for it. I guess maybe Kelsey Plum was missing the good old days where she walked to the bus and maybe nobody would stop her. I don't know. But that's something you got to deal with now. It's just going to keep going this way because the women's game is becoming more popular. once Juju enters the league, there's going to be another college player that will be seen as the next one, and it's just going to be starting all over again. Yeah, don't think it's weird waiting by my bus. Yeah, Kelsey Plum was, that was not a good look for her. And the Alyssa Thomas
You
stuff.
should have just gave the fan an autograph. I get it
Yeah.
when
Like,
you're
don't make them
busy
feel
with
like they
your
need to ruin
family
your
and you're
autograph.
having discussions. Like when you're out with your family, there's a time and place for that. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not doing anything, like if you really just don't want to do it, just say, no, I don't feel like doing it right now. I can respect that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, I get it. Am I going to be pissed? Yes. But will I hold a grudge? Yes. But I have no choice but to respect that. I'm not one of these crazy people who going to go on Instagram and caring about it. But I'm like, I'll just make a story. Like, yeah, I wanted something signed, but like, they weren't in the mood. I get it. But you can't sit here and say these people have no clue. These people are also the people who are putting money into your damn pockets. And they do have a clue. Because they work. 9 times out of 10, they work. They do some type of hustle. They do some type of work. And when you work and when you deal with people, you deal with crazy people. Deal with it.
Right.
I'm not saying it's right, but don't nothing happen to me when I'm getting harassed by customers. I deal with it. I go home, I cry, I do whatever I do to wash the day off, and deal with it. Put your big girl panties on. You are a professional athlete. Shit like this happens in sports. Am I saying it's right? Some of these things people say are nasty.
So,
But it's
Conrad?
also, they don't say it. An athlete and a customer service worker, you can get the same level of vitriol for no fucking reason.
That's 100% true. Like,
so to act like it's just that type of level of vitriol is just specific to y'all, and that regular people don't get it too, it's tone deaf.
Yeah. And look, you just hope that maybe our Kelsey Plum and these other ones can learn.
Get a PR
Because obviously Alyssa Thomas got some pushback from saying that. Like, take it for what it is, and I guess the next time it comes up or whatever, don't try to make it seem like the 9-to-5ers don't know anything about your experience. Like, obviously you playing a game that you love for money. Yeah, not everybody who works in 9-to-5 understands that, but there is some correlation in what you deal with and what the average fan goes through.
like
And like,
she
no
can
fan
get
ever likes when an athlete kind of talks down on them.
exactly. She can get the same level of vitriol from making a layup that I can get for not double bagging something.
Yeah,
She needs to be quiet.
there you go. All right, we're moving along. Like I said, I told y'all at the top, there was rants galore tonight, and now let's get into some NFL. We started our kind of off-season stuff with kind of get you ready for the new season. Did some positional rankings. Tonight we're going to do something a little different. You see it in the title. We're talking about teams that are under pressure for next season. So Jory made a list. I made mine. We both did 5 teams, and I believe we each have some honorable mentions. It will also look for you in the chat as well.
Mentions. I'll let you have that one.
That's fine. That's fine. I got you. I put down a couple of honorable mentions, but we each have our 5. If you guys want to drop in the chat who your 5 teams are that you think are under the most pressure next season, let's have a discussion.
Football is almost back.
I know.
If Gene Carmike, you look,
So
Y'all,
ready
I
for
have
it.
been ready for sideline to sideline for like a month. Kyle can
Hmm.
attest to that because it's like that's usually when like that happens on my Thursdays. Those are my long days at work. When sideline to sideline comes on, I know I'm getting ready to go home.
Hmm.
So I'm like, and y'all got to check it out when it's in season. It's a really great show.
There you go.
Small shout out, but
There you go.
I'm ready for football.
Love the plug. Um, I mean, look, we're less than 2 weeks from preseason. The 31st, we get the Hall of Fame game. And then that's when the NFL feelings will just bubble over because now we'll actually have
Football.
preseason on TV, which means we're only just a few weeks away from week one, that opening Thursday night, which is always a great thing. But with that, like I said, okay, so Carmike does ask a question. Worst team in the NFC, worst team in the AFC. Worst team in the NFC, wouldn't that kind of I mean, I kind of hate picking on this team all the time, but kind of the Saints. I mean, that'd be my guess. And then AFC, who's a really bad team in the AFC? Mm, I mean, the potential's there for the Colts, I guess. I don't think the Panthers are going to be that bad. But all right, so Jory, I got your 5 ready to go. Oh, hold on. Right, looks like Jory's camera might be. All right, so yeah, her camera's messing up right now. I'll go through my 5 while she's coming back in, and then we'll get her 5. So for me, I'm gonna start 5 and go to 1. 5, I have the Washington Commanders. And it might not be fair to have them at 5, but we're looking at an offseason where some people have Jaden Daniels as a top 5 quarterback. You're looking at a team that, surprised everybody and made the NFC Championship game last season. So I think there's going to be some pressure on the Commanders to kind of prove it wasn't a one-year fluke. Hey, Bella. Prove it wasn't a one-year fluke. Be competitive in the NFC East, even if they don't win it, but they need to be a playoff team again next season. A lot of that's going to be centered around the Terry McLaurin stuff because they need to bring him back. They brought in Deebo Samuel. We all saw the images of Deebo looking like
A
fullback tight
fullback.
end Deebo. Yeah. So for Daniels to kind of warrant that top 5 quarterback talk or, fringe top 5 where a lot of people have him, I think he has to have another good season. I think the team needs to, double digit wins, win a couple of playoff games, win at least the playoff game, I think. So that's why I have them at 5. 4, I've got the 49ers. And with the 49ers, I feel like they've moved out some pieces that we knew. Greenlaw, Hufanga, guys like that. They brought back Robert Saleh, who should help out that defense. They just paid Brock Purdy a bunch of money. So I feel like the pressure now, after last season being the disaster that it was, they kind of have to reestablish that they are a major player in the NFC. Whether you believe that or not, I feel like that pressure is going to be there, especially in that division where a lot of people are pushing the Rams to win it. I think some people have, the Seahawks being a good team this year. So it's not going to be easy for them. But I think the 49ers kind of have to get back to the level that they were before, where we had the pressure on them and Shanahan to kind of pay all of this off with a Super Bowl title. So I got them at 4. 3, I have the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, reigning MVP. You win that MVP, you now bring the pressure with it. And, he's a quarterback that they beat Lamar Jackson in the playoffs last season. He's had a good playoff game against Patrick Mahomes. Those 3 are kind of seen as the best teams in the AFC. And we're going to constantly keep looking at who's that team, who's that quarterback to knock off Mahomes and the Chiefs. Josh Allen is in that conversation with Burrow and Lamar and everybody else.
Cam
So
Ward will.
there you go, Cam Ward. But Buffalo now, like I said, with Josh Allen with the MVP, I think got to turn up the pressure on them getting over the hump. 2, Baltimore Ravens, as a resident Ravens hater, resident Lamar hater, as everybody says, I don't have them as number 1, but I got them in number 2. And it's for the same reasons with Buffalo, except Lamar's a 2-time MVP. Lamar's had top defenses most of his career. He's got the best running back, at worst, second best running back in the league. He has a top 5, maybe top 3 tight end in Mark Andrews, despite his performance last season. I feel like for them, that pressure is going to be there on Baltimore every season until they make a Super Bowl. It might turn down a little bit, but they're going to have to win one to completely take the pressure off of that organization. And then my number 1 team might be a surprise. I have the Chiefs. And I put the Chiefs only because the last time we saw them on the field, they were getting demolished by the Eagles, which has now brought on conversations about Mahomes slipping, Kelsey's getting older. When is he going to retire? The offensive line came into question. The defense, Spagnuolo, all that. Andy Reid, is it time for him to hang it up? I think with all of that, this season we're going to see a motivated Chiefs team. And because of their recent run, for them to get back to the Super Bowl and win another title, I feel like they have the most pressure going into this season. So that's my 5. I'll let Jory do her 5, and then I'll give some honorable mentions and get your thoughts on that as well. So I will say, Jory was much more prepared than I was. Jory gave us a graphic and everything. I will do one after the show and put it up. But here's Jory's top 5 teams under pressure. I'm going to let you go ahead and explain your list.
They're not in any particular order.
Okay.
Because I definitely forgot half of my teams until not that a while ago. I mean, I forgot half of them. Well, 2 of them. But I know what I was going to say, though. I just forgot to mention them. But neither here nor there. Top 500 teams under pressure. Number 1, but not really number 1. And I'm not including the Giants. None of that obvious crap, other than McFraud, and Tua turned the ball over. But yes, they are. You don't understand. I live here. Look, I know that if this does not turn out and they have another mid-season collapse, Raheem Morris and Terry Fortno is gone. There's a reason why they drafted so well, and they've made the moves that they've made because they're under pressure. Raheem knows that last year cannot happen again, where you take too long to make the right decisions, you're a little hesitant, and they need to get that all the way together. So if they have another mid-season collapse, I very foresee that both of those 2 are out.
Especially on Penix too, to prove he's the guy. Yeah. They went through the Kirk Cousins debacle. They spent a high draft pick.
That's a mess up on his hand.
This season,
the whole Kirk Cousins thing, that's a blemish. And before Kirk Cousins even got there, I don't think Fortno is necessarily drafted well.
He neglected edge rusher.
Instead of going to go get what you need, you go get high value draft picks. And now, because you're under pressure, you're drafting for need.
Yeah.
And you're making the moves. So yeah.
Since 28-3, there's been pressure in the city for Atlanta. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Like
Carmack put. Oh, you go ahead. Sorry.
if you talk to a Falcons fan, mind you, I'm related to one. My dad is one.
Mm-hmm.
The one person that they want out is Fortno. They could
Yeah.
deal with Raheem Morris for another year, but I also know how Arthur Blank is. If they're going to do that, they're going to fire both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing is, Fortno also hired Arthur Smith. That's another blemish on his record.
Yep.
You don't got too many mess ups.
Mm-hmm.
Two, the Purple Pterodactyls of Baltimore, Maryland. The team that I cannot stand the most. The
Mm-hmm.
most overrated, overhyped, and yes, I'm being dramatic. I know they're very talented. I know they're one of the better built teams in this league. They're still not all of that though. And like Carmike said, Action Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna call him regular season Jackson in a minute. Because everything that I've seen from Lamar screams regular season quarterback. But as soon as the lights get brightest, I don't know if he got a wedgie or his fingers sweat a lot or I don't know. It's just not there.
What's up, Kerm?
Yeah. Everybody's under pressure, under the most pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore, because the problem with the Ravens to me, Harbaugh been there too damn long. They
Yeah.
don't want to admit it. Like, how many times have we questioned the coaching in the playoffs?
Yeah.
They allow it in the regular season, though. As long as they're winning, they're fine. I'm like,
Because we talked about Harbaugh and Tomlin have been there basically the same amount of time, have the same amount of Super Bowls, but Tomlin is seen as some guy who has to fight for his job, while Harbaugh, for some reason,
it's because
they
Ravens
don't
fans
question it.
like to blame people instead of looking at the entire picture. They love to place blame. They love to finger point. Oh, Zay Flowers did this. Mark Andrews did that. Anywhere else but at Lamar and Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
What's next? You gonna lose a game because Derrick Henry slipped?
Yeah.
It the way they've built that team and how well they have drafted. If this year, I believe this year for this team could be make or break because they still have some business decisions to make.
Mm-hmm.
2026 and then the 2027, you let me get my thoughts together. The Ravens, what I'm trying to say is that with the decisions they're going to have to make soon, within the next 2 seasons, and they cannot afford to keep going to the playoffs and flaming out. Something's going to have to give. I'm not saying it's immediate. I'm not saying it's immediate, but I'm saying at the end of these 2 years, I can see them moving on.
Mm-hmm.
He's a they're at one of their last cracks with Harbaugh. To me, I don't think they're going to get rid of Lamar.
Yeah. Because the
So if
pushback from
anybody
the
that's
fan
got
base, if they
control,
did
it's
that, would
Harbaugh.
be crazy.
Otherwise, because eventually, if they don't get rid of Harbaugh, they're going to keep spinning their damn wheels and wondering why we can't get to no damn Super Bowl. Because the voice in the locker room, to me, he's been there too damn long.
Yeah.
Yeah, the players love him, but you can tell when something gets stale.
We know what they'll do if they fall short. They'll fire Munkin. They'll bring in some other coordinator, and sell that this new coordinator is going to unlock the offense, unlike Roman, even though Greg Roman was the OC when Lamar won his MVP, but he wasn't good enough anymore. And Monken was running successful offenses at Georgia. Georgia likes to run the ball, likes to have mobile quarterbacks. Well, quarterbacks who can move a little bit. They figure, give Monken a guy like Lamar, and they'll just run through the league. Hasn't happened. So Monken's going to be the guy that they move before anybody.
And that's their damn problem.
Yeah.
That is their problem.
Carmike says Lamar's going to go before Harbaugh because Harbaugh won with Flacco. So,
you know what? I want to see that happen. That fan base will riot, and I will be out there with my lawn chair and popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they're gonna have to do something within the next 2 years.
Yeah.
And if you want the perception, for comparison's sake, the Ravens and the Eagles are very talented teams. Lamar's rookie season was in 2018. How many playoff wins does he have? 3.
Yes.
And Jalen Hurts started. When did he take over full time as a starter? His rookie season was in 2020. Mind you.
And he's already been twice.
He's already been to 2 Super
to the
Bowls
land
and
that
won
Lamar can't
one.
get to. Yeah.
So that means he has at least 8 playoff wins. But that's another. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Now your number 3 seems to be getting some interesting responses. What's the pressure in Miami?
Not look a hot ass mess. Stay healthy. Be competitive.
Mm-hmm. Don't
look soft. The Dolphins are soft as hell. They don't play physical. The defense is suspect. The offensive line look like the offensive line and the blocking physicality is a little off. Tua soft as hell. I'm not saying that. I know he's fragile. I know that if you rip the piece of paper in front of him, you'll give him a paper cut. But can you show us that you can actually beat a team like the Ravens or the Bills? Yeah. Last year they couldn't even beat my Titans, and we won 3 games.
Show you can win a game in January where it might not be 70 degrees out. Like win one of those. Mike McDaniel.
Can you win something in unfavorable conditions?
Yes. Mike McDaniel's supposed to be a genius. When is that supposed to pay off?
He's only a genius when he has Tua. If you take Tua out, he turns into a damn fraud.
Mm-hmm.
He forget how to coach.
Yeah.
That's why they're under pressure for me. Number 4, again, it's kind of similar to number 1. Heads finna start rolling in Indianapolis. 2 words, Anthony Richardson. If the Colts were all this talent and this much better than the damn Titans and all this other stuff, Anthony Richardson, why even before him, they didn't necessarily upgrade anything. People say they have a good defense. Do they really?
Well,
or can they just feast up on the damn Jags and my soft ass offensive line?
But so much of your defense efficiency relies on your offense not being completely inept, because I don't care how good your defense is. If your offense is trash, they're going to get burnt out on that side of the football, and they're going to start slipping too. So the Colts need.
Ask me.
Well, yeah, but yes, exactly. You witnessed that last season, but Carmike put it. They brought Daniel Jones in to make the offense at least average. That's what they're looking for. They don't need the Richardson where he can throw it 70 yards for a touchdown, but will miss a guy in a 5-yard out route. Like,
They want Daniel Jones, and this is a conspiracy theory, so they can tank and go get Arch Manning.
we already know some teams are going to tank for Arch. I mean, you could sit there and say the Saints have probably begun that process. The Colts, it looks like they're trying to get in that process. Let's see, what were some other teams? I mean, it's probably those. Well, the Giants, where they're basically telling people, make the playoffs or you're getting fired. Like, how motivated is that guy going to be if they lose 2-3 games early in the season? Trying to stop with Russ. You got Reverend Jameis. And you got the young dude, Jackson Dart.
That is such an interesting quarterback room. You got two preachers and a rookie. Good luck to Dart and his damn nerves.
I mean, look, one thing.
Pastor Russ and Reverend Jameis.
But at least with Dart, like those two will probably be like if he gets his opportunity, those two will probably be in his corner. That's if they're both there. I have a feeling one of them probably won't be there when the season starts.
Jameis is gonna end up back in Cleveland.
I mean, look, Cleveland, who knows? Like, I don't know. Cleveland is a whole mess in general. Throwing Jameis back into that would just be too much.
I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up either back in Cleveland or back in New Orleans.
I don't. No, look. Like I said, I think New Orleans would be fine with going 1-16 if it gets the March Manning next season. I mean, Tyler Shuck's like 35 anyway. He's only going to play for a couple of seasons, so they don't care about necessarily the future with him. So, but yeah, I think the Colts situation is going to be interesting.
Steichen finished fired.
R.I.P. to
Anthony Richardson mistake.
Yeah, but it's like R.I.P. to Irsay, but it would be an Irsay thing to go sign Daniel Jones, hoping the team fails because he knows Arch Manning's going to be a big star next season. And, Irsay was Jerry Jones light in the AFC. Like, that's what they would do. He did with Peyton Manning. Shoved Peyton Manning out the back door because Andrew Luck was out there ready to come into the league.
See?
Yeah.
If he did it to Arch Manning's uncle.
Even when I just said that, I did not even piece together Peyton and Arch Manning. Yeah, that would be the Colts thing to do. Imagine that fan base that got to live through Peyton
insufferable.
Manning. The fan base lives through Peyton Manning, and then you're going to tell them, hey, we're going to go get Arch Manning. I think I've talked myself into, they're going to full-on tank. They're hoping Daniel Jones stinks.
I said it first.
You did say it. And then Anthony Richardson comes back from this shoulder injury that he's been dealing with for like 3 years now.
Because he can't throw. That's the injury.
Right, but then he stinks to end the season, and then they go, well, we tried Anthony Richardson. We're getting Arch Manning. He's going to be our guy going forward.
And then I'm really going to get on them about copying the Titans.
Yeah.
They've done nothing but play copycat.
Mm-hmm.
So now if you go get Arch Manning, you're going to have a number 1 pick and a bust of a damn quarterback on the roster at the same time.
Well, they're used to that. Like, name a Peyton Manning backup. His backers are always terrible.
Yeah.
So if Richardson was backing up Archie Manning, then yeah.
I'm so glad I ain't got to see Will Levis no more. My Braves beat the damn Yankees. That just made my night. My God, I hate them stinking ass Yankees.
I mean, I kind of wish my Red Sox would have won today because then they would have been tied with the Yankees. But that's fine. Still only a
Oh, no,
game.
I have the 49ers there for all the same reasons that Kyle said, so I'm not going to go into another soliloquy about that.
Okay. Um. So yeah, I did have some honorable mentions. So I'll name them, and then I guess you can discuss the validity. So my first honorable mention were the Eagles, and they just won the Super Bowl. So obviously the pressure's there to go back to back. You could also built in maybe, well, only because I don't think Hurts is this type of guy, but pressure on Hurts to somehow convince these people who do these lists every year that he is a good quarterback. Because all you hear about is reasons why he gets carried. He's just, steering this juggernaut while not being all that talented. I think there's some pressure there for him to show some people that they're wrong about him. But mainly it's you're the champion, there's going to be pressure anyway. Next team, honorable mention, the Chargers. And this goes to the Chiefs stuff. Because I think with that Super Bowl loss, people are now looking at that as like the dam has burst. The Chiefs are being pushed back down to earth. And all we keep hearing is the Chargers are ready to take over that division. Jim
Until
Harbaugh,
Justin Herbert
we
gets
got
him
Justin
into a
Herbert
playoff
making
game.
top fives in quarterback lists now. I mean, there's like a couple of them, but most people have Herbert as like a top 10 quarterback, even though the resume isn't there. But they're putting a lot of faith in Jim Harbaugh's ability to turn that franchise around from where Brandon Staley had it to where Harbaugh had the 49ers, where they were a Super Bowl champion. The Chargers have a lot of talent on that team, I'm not going to lie, but can they put it together?
No, because Herbert folds in the playoffs.
Well, one thing going for Herbert, they're tailoring the offense to be like run first, to take pressure off of him to have to throw the ball like 50 times for them to win, which they probably couldn't do anyway because the wide receiver position has been a problem for the Chargers. And it got worse when Mike Williams decided to go, yeah, I came back, but I'm actually going to retire. So
he got one good workout of Harbaugh's system and said, I'm good.
We've seen that before, because I remember as a Patriots fan, I remember when they signed, what's going on? Kneecap. Jeremy, what's up? But I remember when Reggie Wayne signed with the Patriots, and I was like, oh, okay. He got into training camp, I think one preseason game, and then he retired. And I was like, okay, you clearly didn't want to, whatever. But I guess that's what happened with Mike Williams. So now their wide receiver position is going to be under the microscope again. And the first time Quentin Johnson drops an easy pass, Chargers fans are going to start grumbling.
So in week one,
honorable mention was a team that Carmike did bring up. I do have the Steelers because this has been a weird offseason for Pittsburgh where you have people questioning, is the team trying to sabotage Tomlin? Is Tomlin sabotaging himself when bringing in Arthur Smith as your OC? You do all this song and dance about we have Mason Rudolph and we're happy to go into the next season with him while begging Aaron Rodgers to come. Rodgers finally decides to sign with you. But we all saw Rodgers the past couple of seasons. He's not the same guy. You bring in DK Metcalf to form a duo with George Pickens. Then you turn around and trade Pickens away. Even though you and I were ready to see the two psychos in DK and Pickens just be a highlight reel every week. But
I was ready to see that.
You have, and even with the Aaron Rodgers stuff, it's like you just had Cam Hayward, who's one of your team leaders, go, either you want to be a Steeler or you don't. I'm over this. And then they still were courting Aaron Rodgers behind the scenes. Now, Carmike did say if the Steelers don't make the AFC title game, he thinks Tomlin's cooked. I think that's a little bit much.
I think if they don't win a playoff game.
Yes. That's where I was going to go. Well, first off, they have to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But if they make the playoffs and Tomlin is one and done again, then I can't see how Tomlin comes back. You know, I think he's a really good coach. You know, the Steelers don't like firing coaches. We all understand that. And it's going to be tough shoes to fill for whoever goes in there after Tomlin. Even though I threw out the name, Brian Flores would be an interesting, you know, guy to slip in there. But they've been making the playoffs. That's not enough to just win one. But I kind of think winning one would be enough because it's been so long since they won a playoff game. Because at least if they win a playoff game, you can go, okay, so maybe they're turning the tide a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But if they go
That's
in,
the bare minimum.
Yeah, if they go in and get blown out or something on Wild Card Weekend, it's just like, so now we got to sit through another offseason, wait for another 17 games to see if Tomlin can win a playoff game. Like, no, they're not going to do that. So those are my 3 honorable mentions. I guess you have any issue with the 3? Is there, and even you guys in chat, if there's a team you think I should have put on there.
Houston.
There aren't any other teams that have pressure, but those are just my ones with the most, because I could, come with a storyline for some other teams that have pressure on them for sure. The Rams have pressure. Everybody's taking them to be like a Super Bowl team. Can they live up to that? Matt Stafford's days are running out. Sean McVay, is he going to be a guy who's willing to? I mean, Sean McVay had his foot out the door a couple of seasons ago. He's
a quitter. That just made me think he's soft.
Yeah, but it's like if the Rams, with bringing in Davante Adams and all this, if they don't have the season that McVay thinks they should, let's say Stafford retired or something, is McVay the guy to kind of go through the rebuild process, or will he just run again and join? I think what was he going to run and join like Fox to be a Fox commentator, Fox analyst, I believe. And then he was like, oh, I'll come back and coach, I guess. Like, that's that mentality right there has me worried about the Rams. But yeah, those are my teams that I feel like have the most pressure.
I like.
So like I said, Jory and I will obviously have another list for next week. We'll kind of decide that one. I think in terms of topics, I believe that's all I had. But because like you did say, we're going to revisit the Lamar Hurts stuff.
Yeah.
So for that, I mean, those of you who have seen this, and Carmike, I know, Eagles fans have been living this for some time now. Hurts, for whatever reason, can't get the respect that Eagles fans feels he deserves from the media. And they penalize Hurts because the team around him is so good. Fine. What's up, David? My biggest issue, if you're going to do that to Hurts, then why is Lamar Jackson number 1 on some people's lists when he's had talented teams around him? Why has Herbert struggled in the playoffs? He's had some talented teams around him with the Chargers. Dan Marino only made 1 Super Bowl. Well, actually, Dan Marino's talent around him wasn't that great, so I can't really use him as an example. But Peyton Manning, look at Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning is highly regarded for being this great player. You look at his playoff record, he was like a 500 quarterback. And he had talented teams as well. Just sometimes in the playoffs, his teams didn't do the best. Eli Manning. People think Eli Manning is a first ballot Hall of Famer because of beating the Patriots twice, when if you want to talk about a guy who was carried, Eli Manning was carried by dominant defensive fronts both times they won the Super Bowl. But nobody kills Eli Manning for that. For some reason, Hurts has become the poster child of like overrated winning quarterback for some reason. And I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Because even if you want to say he doesn't put up the numbers like Lamar and them do, okay. The quarterback position can be played in several ways. And I think Hurts' biggest quality is his ability to lead, his ability to kind of block out outside noise. Because with all this talk, like he still goes out there and he wins late in the season. He might have some bad performances during the regular season, but once the playoffs hit, it's hard not to go with a guy like Jalen Hurts. I know kneecaps in here. Look at Jared Goff. Goff took a Rams team to the Super Bowl, but people thought Goff was no good. Goff gets to the Lions. They have a talented team around them. And Goff, doesn't mess it up by turning the ball over ridiculously too many times. And Goff has been put it as like the 7th best quarterback in the league, which a couple of years ago, you'd have been laughed at if you thought Goff was that good. So love to hear from you as to why Hurts can't get any respect.
I'm trying to find my article.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's right. Yes. I mean, those of you, if you do want to check that out, we have a Tumblr for the show and a WordPress where Jory did an article about this, and it was a great read. So you should definitely check that out.
And I'm about to find. Thank you for bringing up the Tumblr, because I'm trying to find this website right now, and I'm gonna have to go in and mess up the SEO soon. But
let's check it out. David put Jalen Hurts threw 3 interceptions in the regular season total, then walked into a first-round playoff game and threw 4 interceptions. When the lights come on, people would be screaming for the Eagles to draft a quarterback. But Justin Herbert does this and is a top 5 quarterback.
All right. So look, because there's a couple of key pieces that I wanted to include in here that I just had to pull up my article.
Yeah. Also, I know you asked about Hurts' playoff wins. He's 6-3 as a playoff quarterback.
See?
So he has twice as many playoff wins as Lamar Jackson. I mean, 6 more than Herbert. No, yeah, Herbert. Does Herbert have one?
No, he has one
because they choked away.
He choked
the one that got
one.
Brandon Staley fired. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, he choked away one, and then The thing about the whole Lamar Hurts thing is because a lot of people only base it off of talent. I'm like, all right, I get that Lamar has a better arm than Jalen. I don't freaking agree with that either, because I've seen it. But when it comes down to it, my thing is the people in their view about tangibles, or when it comes to being successful and winning, talent is just a part of it. What are your intangibles? Lamar has all of the freaking talent. Where are his intangibles? Where is his decision making when the lights go bright? Jalen has had his option. He's had his ups and downs. But why one player has 6 playoff wins and the other one only has 3? Their decision making in the playoffs is a lot better than the other one. And the one who has only 3 playoff wins has been in the league longer. And I just hate the fact that the narrative between the both of them is Jalen Hurts only capitalizes off of a stacked team, but Lamar loses with a stacked team, and we're not paying that no mind.
Now, I only put this up because this is Lamar and Jalen Hurts' career side by side. Obviously, Lamar's played more games, so his numbers will look better. But it's like you said, the number that should matter the most is right down here. Championships. Hurts has one, Lamar doesn't, and Hurts has a Super Bowl MVP on top of it. Well, Lamar obviously doesn't because he's never been in the game.
So
But I think too many people are looking at these numbers where Lamar has obviously 4 Pro Bowls to Jalen only have 2. But that in that case, you're looking at the AFC versus the NFC quarterbacks and all that, whatever. Lamar's been an All-Pro 3 times, Jalen once, and Lamar's been an MVP twice while Jalen Hurts hasn't been. And for some reason, I feel like people are putting more stock in those 2 MVPs than necessarily
a damn Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
And that come with a ring. And that don't make no damn sense. That's the part, that's the crap right there about this whole discourse that pisses me off. The thing, here's the difference between, for me, the biggest difference between Jalen Hurts and Lamar. Lamar has all the talent. Jalen is a damn winner. Period. He's been a winner. Since I saw him walk on the damn campus at the University of Alabama, he's been a winner. Since he walked out on the versus the game with USC, Southern California, not South Carolina. And he was not the starter. If you understood, well, actually, he had got pulled. He came out, he started, made a mistake, he got pulled, came back in, and proceeded to lead to give USC a 52-6 ass whooping. Same Jalen Hurts. Or was seen as a tiny new damn toy. That's what that was. Jalen Hurts, the same Jalen Hurts that has taken that same Crimson Tide team to multiple championships. He's a winner. His decision making when it comes down to it, it's better than Lamar's. Why are we crucifying him for having a stacked team? It's kind of like what Jason Tatum deals with in basketball. Why are we crucifying him for this front office doing exactly what the hell a front office is supposed to do? Put your stars in a better place to win. I'm sorry that Jalen Hurts can absolutely actually capitalize on it instead of when the lights get bright, he act like a stupid ass deer. No. He's did it in Alabama. Didn't he take Oklahoma to a playoff?
I want to say yes. I'd have to double check.
They didn't win, but I think they won, but I believe he took them to the playoff. And then there you go. You got the playoff appearances. The one bad playoff appearance I can name off the top of the head was the Tampa Bay. It's the Tampa Bay game.
And that was a team-wide thing. That
was a team-wide failure, though. If you watch the actual game, whatever they crying about Jalen Hurts not being able to do, he can do it. He can throw outside the numbers. He actually has a pretty good arm. He's just not asked to do it all the time. Don't get he's not asked to do it to the mixed up with the fact that he can't. He can do it. He's not asked to mainly do that. Right, that first Philadelphia Eagles, that first team he took to the playoffs with Jalen Reagor. Really? Lamar should not have had an MVP. Lamar was not the most important person on that damn team. Derrick Henry was, and I'm going to stand on that.
That has been our argument for last season, that if you're going to give an MVP to somebody in Baltimore, it would have been Derrick Henry because of the fact that every time Baltimore lost, if you looked at Derrick Henry, he had less than 20 carries. If that doesn't scream value, I don't know. And also with David's comment, the MVP was a regular season award, so that playoff game wouldn't have mattered. But I mean, I see what you're saying. Also, I think this. I mean, the narrative's out there that Lamar had a great game and the Mark Andrews drop is
No,
why
because
they
he fucking
lost.
fumbled. Like, let's not
Yes,
do
Lamar
this.
had the
He's
fumble in the
fumbled
first half.
twice.
He had the arm punt interception in the first half as well. Those factored as well. So, yes, Lamar had a great second half, but we can't write off how bad he was in the first half.
Because he
That's the
spent
only
all
thing I'm
second
going to
half
say
trying to
about that
dig
game.
themselves out of that hole and make up for them damn turnovers.
Yes.
Now, we're not going to do that. He played horribly in one half. And we're not
Mhm.
going to discredit the terrible stuff he did in the one half because the second half was better. No, 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 no. The playoff
Yes.
game is 60 damn minutes. So in 30 minutes, he turned the ball over 3 damn times. And then he spent the other 30 minutes trying to make it up for it.
Which he almost did.
He almost
But
did, but
yes.
Mark Andrews ruined that.
Mm-hmm. And also to go back
But
to David's other
it wouldn't
point,
have been
like,
to that point if he had made better decisions in the first half.
right. But looking at last season, if you want to say Lamar's MVP was stolen, like David put, 2019, Lamar was 22nd in passing and he won MVP and nobody questioned it. I think that was the year he beat out. Did Dak come second that year or something? Or was that the year like Dak had a really good season, but
Yep.
it's the
And
Cowboys?
that was the year Dak got robbed because Dak had a really good season.
So
That was
it,
that year.
it balanced itself out. Lamar
So
got
they
when
can
he
shut the
shouldn't
hell
have.
up and cry about and go cry
Yeah.
about that some more.
I
Because
mean,
they're
how would we
still
look at
crying
Dak?
about it.
That's actually a good question. How would we view Dak if he'd won that MVP?
He'd still be mediocre to me, but that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna read a little bit of what I wrote.
Yeah.
It says, for one, Hurts has been on a championship level teams at every stage of his career. He's won a national championship at Alabama, been to another one. He's played in two Super Bowls, won one, led the Eagles to a couple of NFC Championship game appearances.
Mm-hmm.
Raw talent, which to me is subjective. He might not be there with Lamar, but to place an asterisk beside his name and say that he's not a top 5 quarterback and claim that he
Mm-hmm.
was carried instead of being the one that actually orchestrated that type of season, because they had to have an orchestrator. Not anybody could have just led that team, because anybody that any like not especially when you have an emotional ass head coach like Sirianni. It takes a special type of person to lead that team who does have its fair share of head cases
Mm-hmm.
to orchestrate that team to, because it looked like, because if you think about it, there was times in that season where we expected them to fall apart because they looked like they were going to do it. And they didn't. Leadership. I feel like to sit here and just say that he got carried instead of he helped to orchestrate this type of season, which he did because he's the leader. It's
Mm-hmm.
disrespectful. And I have a couple of questions. Like, why is the discourse that revolve around Lamar Jackson, it continues to revolve around, and I've heard Ravens fans say this, Greg Roman ruined them. Shut the hell up. That man is in Los Angeles coaching Herbert, who can actually throw a damn ball outside the damn numbers.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have an AJ Brown type receiver. How many fucking first round picks have they wasted on damn receivers?
Mm-hmm.
Use my language. But we rarely hear the questions that actually matter. What can Lamar do to improve his deep ball accuracy when the game is on the line? What can he do to limit his turnovers and high pressure moments? What happens when the Ravens run game disappears? We know the answer to that.
The Chiefs AFC title game.
stop. When it comes to Lamar, we need to stop blaming the coordinators, and we need to start shifting the lens just a little bit. Cowgirl fans can kiss my ass.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say about that. But my question is, what more does Jalen Hurts have to do? Because if he ends up leading the league, if he finds a way to lead the league in passing or whatnot, they're gonna find it. They're gonna find an excuse to put him
They'll
at
say the
9.
O-line, and he has Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown. He has Dallas Goedert. He has Saquon
I've
Barkley.
heard
That's what I was
Ravens
gonna say.
fans cry about we don't have an A.J. Brown. You have DeAndre Hopkins, Rashad Bateman, and Zay Flowers. Deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
And
So,
they don't want to admit that Lamar Jackson is not a good playoff quarterback either.
well, no, but I also think, and when I was looking at these numbers, there's one thing that stood out to me, which might be why they look at these two this way. So I think there's two things. One, 18 passing touchdowns for Jalen Hurts. We know everybody looks at quarterback touchdowns. Lamar had 41. Okay. Jalen Hurts had 14 rushing touchdowns. Lamar only had 4. I think it's this number here, the fantasy points, because gambling, fantasy football shape a lot of conversations. You can also look at Madden as well, but I think those two. So when you look at this, and Lamar 430 fantasy points, Jalen Hurts 315. So if you're playing fantasy football, Lamar Jackson is a guy you take much higher than Jalen Hurts, because a lot of the stuff that Hurts does doesn't equate to fantasy points. And I think because of that, a lot of people view them the way that they do. But like you said, you watch them on game day. Hurts with the composure and look, if you have talented players around you, you still got to get them the ball. You still got to, lead them in and out of the huddle and all that. Because we've seen talented teams blow up in the face and people lose their jobs. So you have to give Jalen Hurts credit for that. Yeah. Lamar's cost how many OCs their job now? I mean, Monken would be next. Roman. Why do I think there was an OC in between Roman and Monken for some reason?
They went straight from Roman to Monken, but yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not even the jobs he cost. How many people get blamed because of Lamar's poor play?
Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews did it to himself, though.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers.
The one thing about Zay Flowers' thing is, I'm like, if y'all had did what you were supposed to do in the first half of that damn game, you don't have to make stupid ass decisions like that, and it doesn't come down to that. Too talented for that. Why do they continue to get excuses? And you have Jalen Hurts over here exceeding expectations, and he gets asterisks by his name. It makes no damn sense. Talent doesn't. You need talent to be successful, but talent is not everything. Hint, hint. Lamar Jackson. The answer to the riddle is right there. He's not a good quarterback under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And how many times do we have to see that for fucking Featherbrain fans to get it? He can display such good decision making in the regular season, accurate, pew 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 pew. Do all of this in the regular season. It don't damn matter, because we know that when the Ravens and the Cowboys kind of act the same damn way. When the lights get bright, here we go. They're gonna do something to lose a game.
Yeah.
Usually in those games, Lamar don't play well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but you could even take the discourse, because look, some people might be tuning in and be like, "Oh, these two are just bashing on Lamar." Take Lamar out of it. People understand Joe Burrow's plight, plight, whatever. He's a great quarterback. his team sabotages him by not caring about defense. But everybody still holds Joe Burrow in high regard because he makes the best of his situation and he puts up good numbers. Where Hurts, you could say, is kind of the opposite. He's in a good situation, he doesn't mess it up, and he comes through in the playoffs in times that you need him. So maybe people are just too focused on stats, and Jalen Hurts' numbers don't blow you out of the water, so they just go, yeah, he's not as good as people think. Lamar wants a Super Bowl.
And to
I would hope
he's
Lamar
not
wants
going to get one. And I want $1 million damn. He's not going to get one.
I mean, I've also said I do think Lamar will probably be one of those quarterbacks who people will look at as a great quarterback and then do the what if game. Like, what if this had happened? What if that had happened and he won a Super Bowl? How would people look at him?
Everything would have to be perfect for that team to win a Super Bowl, and they'd still find a way to mess it up.
Yeah, because look, for me, it's almost to the point where I feel like if the Ravens made the Super Bowl, I could probably say somebody probably knocked off the Chiefs that wasn't supposed to, and Josh Allen probably had a terrible game, which led to them losing, and Joe Burrow probably wasn't in the playoffs. And I could probably even throw the Chargers into that. Like, Harbaugh didn't get the Chargers where they needed to be. Like, if all that happened, I might say, yeah, maybe the Ravens can make one. But if the Chiefs are the Chiefs, the Bills are the Bills, and the Bengals make the playoffs, how confident would you be in Lamar leading a playoff run, having to beat maybe 2 out of those teams? I wouldn't put money on it.
I'm not putting a penny on that shit.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it too many times. Too many times I have seen Lamar Jackson struggle in the playoffs. If it's not somebody like Houston,
which they celebrated that. And you got to remember, Houston, that was their first time there. CJ Stroud was young. And the Texans actually outplayed Baltimore in the first half of that game.
Yeah, they were just inexperienced.
Yeah.
But what happened when the Titans came to town the first time? I remember that very well.
Look, that's the wonders of football. The fact that we look at Lamar Jackson as highly as we do, and when you look at the teams he's lost to, obviously not knocking your team.
Yeah, because they knocked
Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill is a quarterback that when's the last time you heard Ryan Tannehill's name brought up in any type of conversations? But that season,
I appreciate that man.
With that season, his team knocked off Lamar
and Brady in a Patriots uniform.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let you lift that down. Brady's last pass in a Patriots uniform was a pick.
Yeah, Logan Ryan. I remember the play. Anybody can beat the Texans, a little league team. I mean, look, as you bring that up, I was tempted to put the Texans on my list of teams under pressure because they actually do have pressure going into the season.
They do, because the AFC South is
getting better behind them.
Yes.
Somewhat. Minus the Colts confusion and good luck predicting what the Jags are right now. But at least with the Jags, it's like they got Brian Thomas Jr., who had a really good rookie season. Who knows? But for Houston, CJ Stroud, great rookie season. Step back his second year. What does his third year look like? They won't have Tank Dell, who was their best wide receiver. They swapped out a bunch of linemen for whatever reason. Like, for a team in Houston that people are just going to, write in ink as winning the AFC South, if they find themselves in a late season battle for the division,
they'll find it.
We'll see. We'll see if the Texans are what we thought they were 2 years ago, or if they're just more of the same from last season.
It really depends on what that team in Nashville do.
Well, I mean, we will definitely. I mean, we have that set up for another week with our playoff predictions and everything, and divisional races and all that. So,
Because
we'll
I
definitely
think the Colts are
we'll
going to
bridge
stink.
that conversation then.
I think the Colts are going to stink. I think the Jaguars, they're going to have growing pains. And Brian Callahan is under some pressure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You got the Will Levis throwaway BS. We get the number one pick. Thank you,
Mm-hmm.
Giants, by the way. They won a meaningless game and gave us a pick. Appreciate that, buddies.
It's the Giants. We
But
expect the
it's
Giants
the
to do
most
everything correctly.
disrespected, least talked about number one pick. And that's something that really pisses me off. Because if you remember on draft night,
Mm-hmm.
they told the Titans to milk the clock. They milked the clock.
I
They
don't get why
spent
they do
all,
that.
huh?
I don't get why leagues would want that. I mean, the Titans knew the minute they were told, the minute they had the number one pick. Well, actually, no, because remember, there's all that conversation about Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter or Shador. Remember that conversation, or Cam Ward. I think when you knew, I knew, everybody knew they were taking Cam Ward, and Cam Ward told us when he was playing Fortnite he was going number one. Like the minute the draft got there, Roger Goodell should have been like, "Welcome to the NFL draft." Titans take, Cam Ward and just keep moving. Like you weren't building any suspense by sitting there on the clock. We all knew who you were taking. We knew you weren't trading the pick. Like, come on. That Fortnite stream is going to go down in history as just legendary.
Well, now he's talking about Calvin Ridley's his side. He's Calvin Ridley's sidekick. So,
hey,
watch out. I think you'll have a resurgent Ridley.
But look, Cam Ward. I mean, I heard like Cowherd and other people talk about it. They said Cam Ward is a locker room guy. And he's showing it already.
Defensive tackles.
Hmm?
He talks crap to defensive tackles. I love him.
Yeah. And you bring it up about Cam Ward. I've seen articles from people who say the same thing. He's the least talked about number one pick that they've seen in a little bit of time.
And it's because
that may work in his favor.
Decided to do some attention-seeking shit and trade up to go get Travis Hunter. Mm-hmm. The only reason why they did that was to steal attention. I am convinced.
Well, I mean, I don't think any of us thought that opportunity was going to be there for them. So, I mean, look, first time you get Titans Jags, that is going to be interesting.
Because we also got the receiver that tore Travis' ass up in college.
Yeah. But like I said, the flying under the radar thing, Cam Ward's used to that. Like the guy, what was he, like a 0-star recruit? He had to start his career at, I think it was Incarnate Ward. If anybody knows where that college is, more power to you. He went to Washington State, flew under the radar there. He got his attention at Miami because it's Miami. But even then, I don't think anybody thought Cam Ward was going to be a number one pick. So, I'm just saying, like, most of last season was about Shador and Travis Hunter. The assumption was one of those two was going to be your number one pick. But the year that Cam Ward had, like, you couldn't deny him. He was the best quarterback in college football. Now, the only thing will be, there might be some Titans fans who maybe wanted Abdul Carter.
They can shut the fuck up.
But I'm just saying, like, every fan base has that. The guy that your team takes, sections of your fan base, there's always another guy that they would have rather wanted. So they'll be compared in that way. Tennessee and Cleveland took the two garbage Colorado overrated players that Papa Dion
Ford.
everyone that they are superstars and they played the worst schedule in college. Yeah, the schedule wasn't great, but
Tennessee got
I,
Cam
I,
Ward. We didn't get Hunter. Cam Ward came from Miami. Just a little
oh,
fact check.
I read that. I think I read Tennessee, but in my mind I was like, probably meant Jacksonville because Jacksonville took Hunter, Cleveland took Shador, but I don't think that really applied to Hunter because I feel like most people watching was like Travis Hunter clearly is a talented player. I do think we will learn about Shador once he gets his chance. Because I don't think there's people. I don't think. Well, obviously he was taken the fifth round. Obviously, so he wasn't on everybody's radar for being a great quarterback. And maybe part of it is because of the schedule they played, Dion being the coach, and all that. So I feel better about Travis Hunter as a pro than Shador right now.
I'm just saying. The Jags did that attention-seeking stuff by trading up to get Hunter, and that took all the attention. And then they went on Shador watch. Shador this, Shador that, Shador that. Damn, close the damn Shador. I'm tired.
Well,
We spent less time talking about the number one pick and more. Yeah, I'm not gonna go in that little soliloquy, but
it was the NBA all over. The NBA draft. You focused on a guy who went in the second round, missed the stories of everybody else. This draft was all about the Colorado pair and where they would go. So
it's really irritating.
But look, that's why I've done other things where I'm like, sports media has to change from that. Stop doing that where you make this narrative up about one player, and then when that one player doesn't go where you think, you get Mel Kiper last season, where Mel Kiper was losing his mind with every pick that went, because every time they go to him, be like, so who could go here? Well, I think Shador could go here. Draft pick gets mentioned. It's not Shador. He's over there just scrambling. Hey, Mel, who's your best available? Well, clearly I have Shador up there. Had him up there fifth round. Dave says, I could be wrong about Shador, depending on how he plays with the Browns this year.
I'm not watching that.
Well, I mean, wait, did they have a primetime game, don't they? Or do they not?
That's another thing that pissed me off. Thank you for
reminding me. They have a Thursday night game, right?
I think how the fuck they get a...
You could get one when they start flexing. But when do the Titans play the Texans? If they play late in the season, if the Titans have a season like you think,
a late season game. The one that's in Houston is probably going to be a late season game.
So yeah,
well, one of them.
So you can still get one. Because yes, you and I looked at that where they were giving out primetime games, and we noticed Tennessee didn't get one.
We had the number one pick, and we don't get a primetime game. Do you want to see the man or not?
Especially when the Jags are in your division, you have Travis Hunter. That could have been a Thursday night game.
Thank you. Like the second Texans game is November 16th. The first one is September 28th.
I'm trying to think. I think they changed the rules on flexing games out. So I know before it was only like week 14 and on where they would look to do flexing. I think it's a little different now. So like I said, if Tennessee has a season that obviously Titans fans hope for, there will be opportunities late in the season to get a primetime game. So you said, okay, so November 21st, they play the Texans. Like, who do they play after that? As that could be potential
November 16th. November 16th, we play the Texans. The 23rd, we play the Seahawks.
I kind of think the Seahawks are going to be sneaky good this year. That could be a potential one. Okay.
And then the 30th, we got the Jags.
I mean, if Travis Hunter's having a really good year, maybe that late in the year, probably not.
You know what? You want to know what type of what two teams I'm tired of playing?
Let's guess. I'm trying to think of your schedule. Are the Chargers on the schedule?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm assuming that's one. Um, are the Bengals on your schedule?
For God, no. Thank you.
Okay. So who's your second team then?
Let's see. The damn Chiefs.
Okay.
Even though the last time we played, I could be wrong.
But look,
I might
a
be
game
wrong.
against the Chiefs. If Cam Ward has a good game, that could throw Tennessee into conversations, and it will bring some attention to Cam Ward for sure.
Good ass defenses in week 1.
Hmm?
Last year they gave us the Bears. This year they're giving us the Broncos.
No.
My offensive line better be right by the middle of August. I'm not playing with them.
Well,
Look,
look,
it's been a
that's going
long
to
year.
be an early season test because, like you said, Denver's defense is really good. Like Denver was number one on both of our top defense lists, so we fully understand how good that defensive unit is. That's going to be
It's
a good
funny.
test for Cam Ward.
I also think it's funny because the tight. I was thinking about going to the preseason game because I'm too broke to afford the real one. To a preseason game when the Titans came to Atlanta, and it's on the 15th. But guess where I'm gonna be from the 7th through the 10th in Nashville.
Yeah. So,
I'm going to figure out a way to go. If I have to bribe my mother to sit with me at a football stadium for 3 hours, I will do that. Because I want to go.
I'm sure your mom could find some enjoyment sitting at a preseason game.
She's done it before.
Yeah.
And she can wear her I'll have to buy me a different shirt because I'm not wearing a Falcons shirt and I'm going to go watch my Titans.
Right. Yes. I'm assuming you would get a Cam Ward, Jeffrey Simmons.
Okay. Me and offensive players are starting to get on my offensive players are starting to really work my damn nerve. Defense is where it's at. If you ask most women, if you ask them if you're going to get a quarterback or a receiver as their favorite player, what person is going to say a defensive tackle? A psychopath.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. They would most likely go for the star player. Most times the star player is a quarterback. So, yeah, because that'd be like going to a Chiefs game. You figure most of the women probably have Mahomes shirts. Like how many would have Chris Jones? I don't know.
I like big men. And with that, it's time to get on out of here.
Well, I mean, look, that is all that we did have. But look, appreciate all of you that were in the chat. Good conversation in there. David and David came on late and brought some energy for sure. You had Carmike, Kneecap, hi Bella. Kerm was in here, Gene, Key, everybody else who might check it out after the fact. Greatly appreciate you. Make sure you guys do come back next week where we'll have another list.
We do tight ends next week.
That's right. So you have to come back for our top 10 tight ends in the league. And I feel like that's gonna be another fun conversation to have. We'll also probably look at some, I guess, reactions, WNBA All Star Game, the 3-point contest and stuff, because I am interested to see who takes the 3-point contest. And what else may happen between now and then. So you'll have to come back, check it out. But I mean, Jory, anything you want to let them know you got working on?
I do have some. Look, I work 2 jobs, so sometimes creating videos be a little tiring. So, but if you can't catch me on YouTube, which I do have a video plan, I'm gonna get ready to start going through these divisions. I'm coming, Pluto. I'm getting ready to start going through these divisions, giving my work, my breakdowns, going through, rankings and stats from last year comparing to what I think this year. It's gonna be a lot, but it will be very informative and very well rounded. You might catch a couple of rants. And before we got out of here, I did want to leave. I'm going back to that little Lamar Hurts thing. Um, and I'm gonna read a little excerpt. If you could visit the Passion and Precision Sports blog on WordPress or on Tumblr, and you can find the rest of this article here. If we're going to be honest about quarterbacks' legacies and accountability, then it's time to stop moving the goalpost. One quarterback has rings, the other has excuses. And no matter how talented one may be, talent doesn't trump results, especially not in the postseason. And with that, that's my last comment.
There you go. So, yeah, like Jory said, we have a Tumblr, have a WordPress for our articles and stuff. We have a Discord if you want to join it and talk to Jory and I about sports and everything when we're not live. We do have that as well. So I guess if any of you are interested, I believe it's in the description. If it's not, you can leave a comment under the live stream asking for it, and I will put it in there for you. So with that, I'll be back on here Tuesday for On the Ball with Brett. But like I said, make sure you're back here next week for another edition of Passion and Precision with Jory and myself. All right. Oh, also, check out the other content on Wire to Wire. Monday to Friday, they get your day started with coffee and sports. Great show in the morning. Check that out. And then we have shows every day. You got Sports Report Monday, On the Ball Tuesday, Wednesday, you got Wire to Wire and podcast name deferred. I'm really testing myself now going through these days. Thursday, as Jory said, Sideline to Sideline is coming back as we're getting into football mode. And then Friday, you have us. And Saturday,
starting back next week, Hoop Dreams and Touchdown Queens with me and Key, who was also in the comments, will be returning.
Yeah. There you go. So, gotta check out all the shows. And you'll see me in the comments of any show I'm not on. So you'll also see me there. So with that, we're out of here. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. For myself, Jory, and Bella, who made her appearance. We'll see you all next week. All right. Bye.